Swallow me whole, huh? Where'd you go? You tough son of a bitch.
Sacrificial lamb. You will receive.
Condor 1 to Roost. Do you read me?
Condor 1? You've been radio silent for 3 hours. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Won't let it happen again.
And the church?
I'm still looking for whatever key I need.
Copy that. I'm glad you're okay. Roost out.
So I was at at a 8.7 with regards to this game. Last time I left off, and I'd probably drop it down to like 8.6. 8.6, 8.7, I'd probably drop it down a point. So I'm at an 8.5. Simply because, you know, that boss battle with the fish, um, unless you're really terrible at it, you don't get knocked out of your boat, or you don't die once the boat is done and gets swallowed. Um, and it doesn't give you that little animation of where you used to in the past. You get knocked out of the boat, gotta swim back to the boat. Maybe it happens once the boat is destroyed, or the boat gets down to a certain percentage, but the fight with the fish isn't that difficult at all. That would even happen to begin with, unless you're ridiculously terrible at this game. Which means, like, why would you be playing this game if you're so bad at it? Like, that's infant level of bad. Like, you're under the age of 10 years old, not being able to beat that enemy. So that's why I had dropped it to the 8.5. Another thing that kept it to the 8.5 from where I had it before is these items here. There's no point in collecting them if you don't have no purpose to them other than to look at them and they be part of a collection. Um, doesn't serve a purpose. They don't have any clue to them. There's no reason for them except to be part of a collection or a hint to something. But it doesn't serve an overall purpose. It's kind of like a lot of games that want to show how good they are with creating graphics and realism with regards to certain things and images and photos, but it doesn't serve a greater purpose. That's why I'm at 8.5 with regards to this game so far. I think people give this game like 10 out of 10s or 9 out of 10s and stuff because, they're just having fun. But if you get into like the real nitty gritty, they'll find reasons to have problems or anything that you like. But it doesn't matter if what you like or don't like. If the game has problems, whether they find problems in the things you like, the game has problems. And that's all there is to it. There's no wrestling around it or excuse around it. There's also, if I didn't make it clear the last time, some sections of the game that are extremely dark for reasons I don't know why. It's like even if you were to increase the overall brightness for your television and also for the in-game brightness, those locations are still dark. Like I'm going to increase this so it's very white, like extremely white, like everything is white. You don't see any dark. Increase this as well and confirm it and then exit it. And even with that, where everything is extremely bright around me, including me increasing the brightness of my monitor from 30%, which I keep it at 30% because too bright of a monitor causes damage to your eyes, or any monitor, computer monitor, stay out for a long time or hours. So keep it at 25-30% on a monitor is good. So if I have to increase it from 30% or from 25% just to see, is because the game itself is not adjusted towards the monitor type, or the people who made the game and considered various different monitor types. So it's right now it seems it's okay, but if I was to be watching it from my phone, the white will look extremely ridiculously too much white on my screen. So on my monitor it looks okay, everything, so I could see around me. But if I was to watch this from my cell phone, it would be too much white. So that's a bad thing about the game. It has, if I was watching someone's video and I wanted to see a game that looks good but not too bright, this would be the perfect point, the halfway point right here, which means I have to lower this brightness to at least to see some degree of darkness in the brightness. So I put it here and I leave this here and I confirm it. Then I leave. And so now it's dark again. But if I was to look at this from my cell phone, it's dark again from the cell phone. So I'm going to increase it, the brightness once again here, just a tad. I'll lower this down, but this time I'll increase the brightness. Keep this here, and this time increase the brightness and see what happens. Put the brightness all the way up, but put the value of the brightness to less halftone cells. The smallest amount of halftone cells fill white as I can. So this is the smallest amount of halftone cells of pure white that can be filled. You can't go any lower, and this is the most amount of removal of darks from halftone cells I could get going towards white. So let's see how that looks on my cell phone. It still looks like a lot of heavy white around the overall appearance of the screen, so that's still bad. And let's see what 3% below. 1, 2, 3, 3% below that value, keeping it here and keeping this here and confirming it. See how that looks. Still a ridiculous amount of white around. We'll adjust it again. Bring it down some more. And then put more darks this time to 1, 2, 3. And see how that goes. Now I could deal with this on my monitor, but how does it look on the cell phone? Looks slightly better, but cell phones do have, let's see here, since I turned on the brightness on my cell phone, I'm now going to turn up the brightness on my cell phone. So let's see how that's going to look. Yeah, so a lot of white. It's a lot of white surrounding. So now I'll try it again. This time I'll add more darkness so I don't see any white whatsoever. And we'll see how that looks. Now it looks very dark to me on my monitor. How does it look on my cell phone? Okay. So I'm going to just do one final thing. In color white. See the problem, the RGB makes too much white all the way around the area, but this I'll try this and it will make it dark, but I will try it. So now it's very dark. Now it's very dark, which is not good. But wait a minute, no, that still wouldn't work. Let me see here. How about that? And that and that. It's very weird. Yeah, it's very bad. That's one of the reasons why I lowered it to 8.5. Um, Whoever made this game were not considering the fact that people would be watching the game from different type of monitors and cell phones, so on and so forth. So when you try to adjust it to fixed how you see things playing the game based on darkness and location, um, the monitor type you have, the cell phone type you're using, it's like, okay, so I have to adjust my cell phone to see the brightness of this. That's fine. But then I have to adjust the color as well. That's not fine. People should just increase the brightness of the cell phone or decrease the brightness of the cell phone based on the game. The in-game mechanics for the in-game, not mechanics, but the in-game buttons for to adjust its color and its brightness should be adjusted for any monitor type. And you just have to tweak it just slightly a little. You don't have to be doing all this. So that's off. So I'm going to reset all, and everything's reset. And I'm going to exit out of everything being reset, and this is how it looks when everything is reset. It's this dark. It's this dark when everything is reset. Unbelievable. So this is their default. This is their default. Like no one ever speaks about these things because some people just like the game and they don't want to go into the nitty-gritty details. Be like, well, the game has faults. You just don't want to talk about it. Okay. Confirm. Okay. And now we're going to change it back to RGB color. Oh, wait a minute. It was on RGB. Yeah, it was on. This is good. This is bad. RGB is good. That's bad. Um, okay. Maybe on the accessibilities, visual accessibility, sure. I think I already changed this, so everything is the way I had it before. Motion sickness. I think I already put this in. Preset for motion sickness. But I'll just do it again anyway. Just for that one. So that's that. So let me look at this dark rock and see how it is on my cell phone. It's still like bright blue tint on the cell phone, but that's just because it's a cell phone. So can't do anything about that. The brightness of the cell phone seeing the thing. So I just did the best I can. And yeah, cell phone has about a huge blue tint. That's all I could do with the display. I think if I go too bright, it messes it up. If I go too dark, like this is too bright. But if I go too dark, see, if this goes here, it's way too dark for there, for shadow corners. But if I increase it too much, yeah, I'll have to just deal with that. I have to see the deepest, darkest corners. See here, I can't see the deepest, darkest corners at 1%. Yeah, I have to keep it here. Yeah, I have to keep it where it is. It may seem dark on my screen, but on the cell phone, it's still dark on the cell phone. You know, it's ridiculous. Confirm, 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 confirm. It's slightly better now. Still a little bit dark. Yeah, I have to just go with this. Too much bright will screw it up. Too dark will make it bad. That's why I'm at a 8.5 game as well. There's certain things that when people make game, they don't consider a lot, or they test it and they run it, but they don't understand that various people have different systems, or they do understand, but they don't go into that deeper detail because they have other things they have to do. I know people are trying to give like this atmospheric experience that is so dark and stuff in the game and everything. But you know, there's a feeling of paranoia and enclosure and darkness. But it doesn't work when you're trying to look to see where to go and what to do. You're actually straining your eyes and forcing the player to strain their eyes. So that's not a good thing. These things are important. If you don't want to consider them, that's your problem.
¡Ahí está!
What the fuck?
And it's still the same thing with Leon. It was like the moment he showed something and then goes for a run, it's like it takes him so long to run. It's like he's like a car trying to pick up speed in a critical situation, or because he's carrying the weapon, you would think he would switch to a weapon, to a handgun, he would run a little bit faster because he's not carrying a heavy weapon in his hands anymore. He's on his back. But yeah, it's the same. Carrying a pistol and shotgun is the same. Look like this. This is so dark.
What is this place? Some kind of shrine. Same mark from the church. It's the lake.
Church key. Now you see, I missed the church key. Totally ran by it. Because once again, it's so dark, you don't see what you're supposed to be doing. So I have no choice but to increase the brightness. Yeah, this game is not adjusted. It doesn't make sense. It's like they want you to enjoy the video game experience, but they're not considering that when you make things dark and you want people to search for items, it makes things difficult for them to find said items because it's so dark. If part of the difficulty is finding items, adding darkness doesn't help. Unless your intentions was to make it dark so they can't find the items, which is kind of a shitty thing to do. It's not like you're hiding it based on how your game is set. you're hiding it based on bad environmental shades and shadows. So I'm going to increase it again and see if that works. Hopefully. Unfortunately, by cell phone, it might actually show it in blue tint. I'm supposed to put something here.
Is this the key?
Yeah, I totally ran by this because it's so dark. Wait, I thought I removed that dot from display. Dot display. Why did it go on? I just okay. So it went on by itself. Okay, I need to get the church key to get here. Um, goodies over here, goodies here, goodies here. There's got to be a way to put a mini map on your screen. So you have to keep going into. You know, I'm not gonna waste time on that. I already gave it a point off for not having mini map automatically on the screen. Okay, I see. I see. I wonder what... Okay, so I wonder what'll happen if I do this then. I equip this. So it seems like this weapon, the Red 9, is temporary. So if I switch to shotgun, and then I switch back, yep, it's a temporary weapon. It's not permanent for me to use. It's just for me to fall back on if this weapon runs out of ammo. I guess, okay. So apparently I cannot do that. Why that is, I do not know. I tried to permanently remove the other weapon and put on the Red 9. They won't allow it. That's not something bad, but it's just like it doesn't allow you to use a weapon that you want to use. It allows you to have always keep your default weapon, which is probably the reason why you're allowed to upgrade your default weapons, such as your knife and stuff. Every other weapon are considered temp weapons, and your default weapons are considered your main primaries, which is a different mechanic from the standard Resident Evil 4, which is good, but bad depending on the type of person that you are.
I'll be taking this.
Okay, so it looks like when I go like this with the weapon and goes stab, stabby, stab, stab, it doesn't take away duration from the knife. When I go like this, however, and hit enemies, it take away duration from the knife, or when I hit objects, if I'm slashing. When I go like this, duration is not taken from the knife. So if I hit boxes and like this, it makes it faster for me to pick up the items. Rather than to kick, what goes into like an extra second of animation. So I'm going to probably try to do that from now on. It doesn't seem like duration is taken from the knife if you go stabby. Yeah, don't want to get rid of this. I have a lot of eggs. But I might need those eggs as well when the time comes. See, that's the problem with that. Once you put anything over here, it discards it. Because basically your attaché case is your storage. It's not like Resident Evil 2 Remake where you have like a full crate. This is your limit towards where you could store, and everything else over here is simply to discharge. Yeah, I have to do it. But wait a minute, hold on. How much? I'm not sure how much health the snakes give compared to the eggs. I'm assuming they give just a little bit more. Okay. You know how I said I wish this had like waypoint. You could actually point where you have to go and find things rather than keep going in and out of a map. Well, if this game had waypoint, you'd be able to waypoint to where you're going so that you don't have to physically keep going in your map. It doesn't have that. So that's the reason why I'm still at that 8.5 with this game. I have to constantly keep going. Yeah, it really, really is annoying when you have to constantly keep going back and forth in your map. Unless I'm completely mistaken, and there's a way to create a mini map, which should be in the display section or the control section. It's not here. Or in control section. I went over this the last time. Went over every single one of this in detail just to see if there's a possibility to include the mini-map on the screen while you're playing. I didn't see it. It makes it so much easier and makes more common sense to have a waypoint to find things. I know people will say, well, you have to enjoy the experience of the game you're given, but you know, if you're trying to do something, it really takes away from the enjoyment where you have to keep going back and forth in and out of your menus. Like, it's so dark. Very dark. I just don't want to increase the brightness anymore because if I'm looking at my cell phone and it's showing the brightness on my cell phone a ridiculous high amount. Which means if anyone was to watch this from a cell phone, it would be bad. I don't think they really consider people watching a stream off a video from a cell phone. Or maybe they did, but they didn't do anything about it. Or maybe it's because they weren't considered people would be carrying different types of cell phones, like Androids and stuff. Who knows? So this key wasn't in a check format before. I know in Resident Evil 2 Remake, when a key has an X on it, it means it's not usable. So I'm not sure if this check format means it's not usable anymore, or you've checked everything, like check done. Because if it means check done, it should have an X on it like Resident Evil 2 Remake, which is more simple than check, you still have more to check, or you've now unlocked it. And if this what I'm thinking it means, that I can't use it anymore, and that's fucking stupid. I should have kept the Resident Evil 2 Remake. If it's not, if it just means I just used it, then that's fine.
The hell is going on here?
I swear to God, Leon must be the most stable person in the world. No one in their right mind will be saying what the hell is going on once they saw a woman tied up, looking like she's a camper or a foreigner that just happened to come into this village. No one would ever say that, like ever. It'd be like, they would say, what the f... They wouldn't even say what the fuck. They were like, they would see it and they would exit stage left. Or if they're the type of person who needs to know if it's actually a dead body, they will see it, check it, they'll be shocked. You'll hear a gasp, and then they will exit. They would never speak and say, what the hell's going on here? Unrealistic, but realistic for my boy Leon, because he apparently is a hero, and heroes say stuff like that. Real people do not. Yeah, so these are all random strangers that hikers, I'm assuming, who were taken to this place based on what they're wearing. They're all random strangers. Like, how the hell did these people end up in this village? Like, you don't just come to this place unless you're hiking for hiking's sake one day. And wasn't there someone at the beginning of the game that got like her head chopped off? So this is someone else, because her head is still intact. So since the time that woman got her head chopped off, she should be here. If this is the same altar. So from that time to now, there have been two other women that we're taking here. The one tied up and this one here. Okay.
Oh, you're kidding me.
¡Agarradlo! ¡Te voy a hacer picadillo!
You're serious.
Really? That's how the game gonna have it? Like, it forces you to go around the corner for them to attack you, and then they scurry back around the corner and hide. Does that make sense? Like all of a sudden the dogs are intelligent. The dogs are intelligent. They know exactly when to go around the corner when you're about to go so that you don't shoot them. Does that seem that that makes sense? No, that doesn't make sense at all. That's just how the mechanics work for that area. The dogs are gonna hide if you go up on the ladder and try to go around the corner to get them. But if you come down the ladder, they're gonna reappear. It makes no sense, but it's whatever. Alright, so everything over here has been acquired. I don't have access to this location yet. That's why it's all in the dark. But I think I might have access to go back to the keys and get the items over here. And if the bridge, yeah, the bridge will take me there. And I have 3 keys now, so if I go all the way back, if this one and this one and this one, these don't work, then this one has to work. Be a long trek run back, but the boat can't go over here. So I have to foot it. I have no choice but to foot it. Okay, so I can't go back this way. So how do I get back to the beginning of the game? Maybe I have to go through the port here from the boat. And there's some treasures over here anyway, so gotta go there. It is ridiculously dark. I know there's a quick action when you're in combat. It doesn't have to do with a weapon wheel. For when you choose the rifle, like once you equip the rifle, you could go into your pistol, but then go back into the rifle. But I don't see that option. Saving. I do have to note that when it auto saves, it's not permanent save, so sometimes I have to do things over again simply because I didn't manually save. I keep forgetting that autosave is a temp thing. Like ROM and RAM, it's like... It's to the left. Is it above? Oh no, it's right here. It's so dark I can't even see. Am I supposed to move this thing around? Like what the hell? Oh, I think I know what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to find all of them, put them in, and then it will allow me to move it around. Got it. So I'm just gonna be on this for about 3 hours, and hop on Warframe probably around 10 o'clock. I was hoping I could finish World War Z today, but apparently I was completely wrong. It takes longer. So I can't go here because the blockage is here from where I fell regarding the story. Which means I can't go back and get the treasure there. And I can't get the item from treasure in here until I find the other piece. And there's no way to go back and track back here. So if I curve the boat around and stop here, I might be able to get this treasure. And track, allow a path to go up here. I'll try for this treasure. This is my ultimate destination. But I'll try for these two treasures before I go to my destination here, Church Key. Alright, so I can't get that because that's not a Hunter Lodge key, and obviously it's not a Signet key, so there's another key for that I'll have to find. And there's no pathway to, well, there's a ladder that goes up. Let's see where this leads.
Took care of her quick. Well, look at you, mate. I've got something new for you, mate. A well-tuned weapon can make up for a lack of skill, friend. Wield it. Don't get yourself killed. Now, welcome. I got something new for you. I'll buy almost anything. This is what I'm talking about. Fine work. Ruby's all rubbish, it makes no difference. A deal well struck. I'll buy almost anything. A job well done deserves payment in kind. Anything else I can help you with? Molding a weapon to suit your specific needs. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. We're starting to get an idea of your tastes, friend. A well-tuned weapon can make up for a lack of skill, friend. Good as new. See how that feels, mate. A fella like yourself should notice the difference right away. That cash in your pocket or your life. Easy choice, mate. What you see is what I've got. A decent size. But size ain't everything, am I right? We've been saving that one for the right customer. Ruby's all rubbish, it makes no difference. The price, well, that's our choice to make. Well then, what can I do you for? What's that? How have we procured these curiosities? A wise choice, mate. Its ammo will penetrate just about anything. Knife needs care every once in a while. Could be the difference between life and death. I'll buy almost anything. Thank you. Well done, stranger. Your weapons are in good hands, mate. I'll see you right. Not seen anything you like, stranger? Will that be your pleasant travels? Welcome. You'll get some bang for your buck, I guarantee it. All yours, stranger. Got a selection of good things on sale, stranger. Don't get yourself killed.
So that's what I had to do. I had to register the shortcut. It's a little different from the RE2, but yeah. So this is what is this? Flash. A small flash grenade. Flash grenade. And Punisher. I have to register the Punisher shortcuts. And this is parts. Wait. Parts. Okay, that's attached to that. It doesn't have parts. This doesn't have parts.
Now,
Wait, was he selling parts for the
welcome.
pistol?
What you see is what I've got.
Oh, no, he wasn't selling parts for the pistol. But he would trade me for scopes.
Oh, my back is killing me. Years haven't been kind to us. Next
Okay.
time, then.
Okay, finally. I was wondering what was going on, because I didn't use shortcuts. I'm glad that the game doesn't officially tell me I figure it out, but at the same time, not everyone's going to get that, so there should be an explanation in the tutorial, and the tutorial doesn't say that, so that's a bad thing about that. But now we could go and unlock those doors with hopefully these keys that we have will allow me to get through. So how am I on time? Got 2 more hours. I really want to continue the story real fast, but if I could close out picking up everything, then I don't have to worry about going back after the story's over to do everything. So I clean up real quick an area, then continue the story so I never have to go back again. But I didn't finish the entire story, then try to clean up the entire map all over again. Once I get a new key or 2 new keys, I try to go back and clean up the area rather than at the end of the game trying to do a cleanup of every single thing, which is take ridiculously long. But I do need. I don't think he's selling. I don't think he's selling recipes for shotguns yet. What's this? Oh, okay.
Oh, welcome.
Wait, there's something else here. Okay.
There are enough weapons here to get a party going.
Yes, sir. I will need that when I need it.
Welcome. What can I interest you in?
Down 4,447
You'll get some bang for your buck.
pitas.
I guarantee it.
All. No, it's no
Why
recipe.
not try your hand at a new gun strength next time? Buy something, eh?
I think that's what that means. I think this check sign means that they're completely useless now. Or have you checked off